What does tomorrow look like? To us, it looks like a world of boundless possibilities. At Mahindra, we push our limits every day so that we can rise for a better tomorrow. We aim to futurize today by thinking alternatively, by moving forward and paving new paths. We rise for good by helping drive sustainability, by creating businesses that transform lives, and growing even more than before. We futurize by helping design smart cities and smarter lifestyles for an increasingly interconnected world. We rise for good by shaping destinies and empowering the underprivileged in our communities. Tomorrow is a new world, and what we do today defines our tomorrow. At Mahindra, we choose to rise, not just for a few of us, but for all of us. Mahindra Rise.
Mahindra Logistics Limited, trust is the force that binds us together. It is one of our overarching purpose principles, deeply embedded in the way we work. It also courses through our commitment towards making the world a better place. We accelerate the wheels of the economy, and we do more than this. We transform the lives we touch. Whether it's our business partners, drivers, their families, or communities at large, we spread smiles with every mile.
हिम्मत की है भारत का एक छोटा सा गांव सूखे की अवस्था और एक नौजवान रमेश की राज्य में बारिश न होने की वजह से सूखे की स्थिति गंभीर बताई जा रही है। मौसम विभाग का कहना है कि राज्य में कुछ दिनों तक बारिश का कोई अंदेशा नहीं है। इसी के साथ आज के समाचार यही समाप्त होते हैं। नमस्कार।
ऐसे नहीं चलेगा, कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा।
क्या करेगा? अरे सब कुछ ऊपर वाले के हाथ में है, कभी तो बारिश होगी। धीरज
और कितना धीरज बाबा, सब कुछ तो खत्म हो चुका है।
अब क्या करें? कितनी लंबी चादर है उतनी आया तेरे
सूखी सी है सांसें, सूखा है ये आंगन, खाली हथेली टटोल रही एक अंतहीन धुंधलापन। कब तक करेगा तू इंतजार, कब जाएगा तू छिपा। हिम्मत के जोड़ ले और तोड़ के सारी बेड़ियां, देख जरा खुद से अंबर तक ऊंची है सीढ़ियां। तू भर ले पूरा, ओ भर ले तू पूरा, भर ले तू पूरा, पूरा ही भर ले तू पूरा. तब हुए थे जब सपने तेरे सारे सब सोए थे, अब जाग उठा है तेरे अंदर का सूरज, हाथों में पकड़े किस्मत, दिल में अपनों की मूरत के पतवार तू चलाएगा, मेहनत के पहिए आएगा, तेरे सपनों को देगा पुंज और देश को आगे बढ़ाएगा. और इस तरह महिंद्रा लॉजिस्टिक्स के साथ जुड़कर रमेश ने डटकर अपनी परिस्थितियों का सामना किया. अगले साल बारिश हुई और खुशियों की फसलें लहलहा उठी. अब रमेश के पिता खेतों में सोना उगाते हैं और रमेश अपने जैसे देश के हजारों लोगों की तरह महिंद्रा लॉजिस्टिक्स के साथ अपने सपनों की उड़ान भरे जा रहा है.
During the ongoing COVID-19 crisis, Mahindra Logistics Limited launched HOPE, which stands for Helping Our People During Emergencies. And together with our employees, we strived to ease the suffering of our driver community and those greatly affected by the pandemic. Here's how we did it. On 25th March 2020, a nationwide lockdown was implemented in India. Lives of billions changed overnight. Millions of workers lost their jobs. Thousands were on the road with their families of infants and the elderly. And so many lost their livelihood and every little hope to survive. The entire country witnessed an unprecedented exodus of migrant workers and daily wage earners. The whole nation was under the shadow of uncertainty. Mahindra Logistics unveiled HOPE, their initiative which stands for helping our people during emergencies. Across the country, concerned employees of Mahindra Logistics took upon themselves the onus of reaching and helping those in need. Risking their own lives, Vibha Bhamre and his team from Nasik reached out to more than 350 truck drivers and supported more than 20 orphan children, leaving behind the comforts of their homes. Sai Prasad Naidu and his colleagues helped more than 250 truck drivers and municipality employees in Zahirabad by providing food and shelter. Sunil Dhanukar and his team rescued more than 30 drivers in Igatpuri. In Kolkata, Shaibal Mazumdar and his colleagues served food to more than 500 hungry migrant workers and truck drivers and provided shelter to the homeless. They also distributed masks to our brave police force on duty. Sagar Bhore and his team members in Pune and Ludhiana contributed towards welfare funds and donated blood for the ones in need. In the midst of all this, the team of Mahindra Logistics, free emergency cab service under Alight, helped Mrs. Pravalika Doshi from Hyderabad reach hospital on time to deliver her twins. Launched across 9 cities in 9 days, these cabs served more than 3,000 beneficiaries in less than 2 months, from transporting sick and elderly citizens to their dialysis center and medical appointments to helping people on their pharmacy visits. This service, in association with the local police, has been a blessing for many citizens during the lockdown. With the Hope Initiative, Mahindra Logistics has also provided financial aid to the driver community, and many more of our employees have helped and supported the underprivileged section of our society with their own money. They also took care of our nation's frontline workers, women, elderly, and persons with disabilities during this crisis. We thank everyone from Team Mahindra Logistics who has showered help through the Hope Initiative, reached out to millions of people, restored their belief in humanity, once again displayed that only by standing together we rise.
Dear members, Namaste and very good afternoon to all of you. I, Brijbala Batwal, Company Secretary of Mahindra Logistics Limited, am pleased to welcome you all to the 13th Annual General Meeting being held today, 30th July 2020 at 3:30 p.m. through video conferencing. In view of the challenges and risks faced due to the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, and keeping in mind the safety of our shareholders and employees of the company, this annual general meeting is being held through video conferencing in compliance with the circulars and directives issued by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and Securities and Exchange Board of India and the applicable provisions of the Companies Act 2013. In compliance with the provisions of the Articles of Association of the company, Mr. V.S. Parthasarthi, the Chairman and Non-Executive Director, shall be the Chairman of the meeting. Before we proceed with the meeting, I would like to bring to your attention a few procedural aspects for participation in the VC meeting. All the members who have joined this meeting are by default placed in mute mode by the host to avoid any disturbance arising from the background noise and to ensure smooth and seamless conduct of the meeting. Those of you who have not yet cast your votes through remote e-voting can cast your votes during the annual general meeting after the announcement made by the chairman on e-voting. The e-voting lines will also remain open for 15 minutes after the conclusion of the AGM. Once the question and answer session starts, the chairman will announce the names of the speaker shareholders one by one. We request the speaker shareholders to speak slowly and loudly while asking questions so as to capture them correctly. We also request the shareholders to limit their talk to 5 minutes in interest of time. During the AGM, if any member faces any technical issues, he or she may contact the NSDL help desk at the contact details mentioned in the AGM notice. In the event of any unforeseen eventuality, like loss of electricity or internet connection at the venue of the webcast facility, the AGM proceedings will be continued by rest of the directors and members of the company. So without any further ado, may I request Mr. V.S. Parthasarthi, the chairman and non-executive director of the company, to conduct the proceedings. Thank you.
Thank you, Brijbala. Dear members, namaste and a very good afternoon to all of you. I hope all of you are safe and are in good health. On behalf of Mahindra, Board of Mahindra Logistics Limited, I, V.S. Parthasarthi, welcome you all to the 13th annual general meeting of Mahindra Logistics being held today through video conferencing. All efforts feasible under the circumstances have been indeed made by the company to enable the members to participate in the AGM through video conferencing being held today and vote on the items proposed in the notice of the AGM. As the requisite quorum is present for the AGM, I now call the meeting to order. Introduction to board, I want to introduce my fellow board members to you. First, Mr. Ram Praveen Swaminathan. Ram,
hello everyone, it's a pleasure to be here this afternoon.
Thank you. And would you also like to say your designation, Ram?
Yeah, I'm the Managing Director and CEO of Mahindra Logistics.
Thank you. Mr. Parag Shah.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Parag Shah. I'm a non-executive director on behalf of the Mahindra Group, and I've been on the board of this company since 2008. So probably the longest board member, standing board member on Mahindra Logistics. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. S. Durga Shankar.
Hi. Hi, everyone. I'm a non-executive director from Mahindra. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Durga. Mr. Ajay Mehta.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ajay Mehta, Independent Director of Mahindra Logistics Limited, and welcome you all. Thank you. Over to the chairman.
Thank you. Would you also like to talk about your chairmanship, Ajay? I can't hear you, Ajay.
I'm the chairman of Audit Committee of the company. Thank you.
Thank you, Ajay. Mr. Darais Pandol.
And I'm also the chairman of the Nomination and Remuneration Committee and the Stakeholders Relationship Committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Darais. Ms. Avni Davda.
Very good afternoon to everyone. It's a pleasure to be part of this AGM. I'm an independent director on Mahindra Logistics since 2018. It's a privilege to work with this Mahindra company and contribute. I also am the chairman of the Risk Management Committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Avni. And last, Mr. Ranu Vora.
Hello, everyone. I'm an independent director on the board of Mahindra Logistics. I've been on the board of the company just before the time the company went public. Delighted to be here. Back to the chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. And I should say last but not the least, thank you everyone. All the director except Mr. Ram Praveen Swaminathan have joined this meeting electronically from Mumbai through video conferencing. Mr. Ram Praveen Swaminathan has joined this meeting electronically from Hyderabad. We also have with us today Ms. Malvika Sinha, proposed to be appointed as an independent director on the board of the company. Mr. Yogesh Patel, CFO, and Ms. Brijbala Batwal, company secretary, are also present with me at the venue, though maintaining social distancing and all the segregation possible. The senior management team are attending this meeting electronically from their respective locations. During the last financial year, our erstwhile chairman, Mr. Zubain Bhivandiwala, and our erstwhile chief executive officer, Mr. Feroz Shah Sarkari, ceased to be associated with the company. I, on behalf of the entire board and the leadership team, would like to take this opportunity to place on record our sincere appreciation for the invaluable contribution made by both of them during their long tenures with the company. Mr. Kedar Raje and Mr. Sunil Mahajan, representative of the statutory auditors, Deloitte Haskins and Sells LLP, the secretarial auditor, Makran M. Joshi and Company, and the scrutinizer, Mr. Makran Joshi, are also attending this meeting electronically through video conferencing from Mumbai. The register of directors and KMPs and their shareholding and other statutory registers, the document mentioned in the notice of the AGM and the explanatory statements, the memorandum and articles of association of the company, and the certificate from the statutory auditors of the company relating to the implementation of the company's ESOP and RSU schemes as required to be kept at the AGM are available for inspection. Member desiring to inspect the documents can send email to cs.mll@mahindra.com. In continuation to the company's sustainability focus, we request all members to register their email address on which future communication or documents can be sent securely and expeditiously. Over 75% of members have already provided their email addresses. Members are also requested to update their bank detail with their depository participants for seamless transfer of dividends directly to the bank accounts. The notice of the annual general meeting dated 17 June 2020 and the annual report for FY20 were dispatched to all the members whose email addresses was registered with the company or with the depository participant through email in compliance with the directions issued by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and SEBI in this regard. With your permission, I take the notice of the annual general meeting as read. As the statutory auditors report on the standalone and consolidated financial statements of the company and the secretarial auditors report for the financial year ended 31st March 2020 does not contain any qualifications, observations, or comments on the financial transactions or matters which have an adverse effect on the functioning of the company, the same are being taken as read. We're now, with your consent, may I deliver the chairman's address. Dear shareholders, namaste, and once again, a very good afternoon to all of you. The virus is contagious, but so is our spirit and atmosphere of innovation, and that should make us come out as winners even in trying times. It is said, life throws challenges, but with patience and resilience, you can convert every challenge into a new opportunity to grow. The last fiscal year, FY 2020, had its set of challenges, both at a macroeconomic level as well as specific to the growth in key industry sector. While the industrial sector witnessed lower than historical average growth rates, the more profound impact came from the slowdown in key sectors such as automotive and light engineering. These challenges have accentuated since the fourth quarter of the last fiscal year, escalating as consumer sentiments put a dampener on demand of our automobiles and related products. Just to substantiate, the last fiscal year, the automotive industry degrowth stood at 18.8%, which is the worst ever degrowth witnessed by the automobile industry in the last 28 years. Meanwhile, economically, the FMCG, consumer durables, retail, and consumer electronics segments have been performing at par, with significant growth seen in both e-commerce and pharmaceutical industries. Your company has thus faced challenging headwinds on account of the slowdown and consequent volume contraction in the automotive industry. However, the growth strategy continues to deliver results in the consumer goods and retail, pharmaceutical, telecom, and e-commerce vertical. With a sharp focus on fulfillment logistics, your company's business in FY 2020 in the consumer goods and pharmaceutical space grew by 33%, while a technology and automation integrated approach in e-commerce saw a growth of 26% over the last financial year. Your company also continues to develop an integrated service line. We saw a healthy growth of 16% in warehousing and value-added services and 18% growth in our freight forwarding business during the last fiscal year. Our company has achieved a consolidated revenue of INR 3,471 crores for FY 2019-20, down by 10% vis-a-vis the previous year, due to automotive slowdown and COVID-19 impact late in the year. EBITDA stood at 172 crores and PAT at INR 55 crores. The board of directors have recommended a dividend of INR 1.5 per equity share. The first quarter results of the company have been announced earlier today. Key highlights are revenue at INR 410 crores, which is down from last year by 54%, an EBITDA of 60 lakhs, and a loss before tax of 17 crores. The current year brought with it a global pandemic, and our nation is in a prolonged lockdown. This has some obvious but unprecedented challenges for us. Several of our key end markets were adversely impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic in the last quarter, which in turn resulted in lower volumes for the logistics sector. The pandemic has put great pressure on transportation, warehousing, freight forwarding, and related activities and infrastructure. Early in the pandemic, we laid down guidelines for operations to be followed across our location to ensure the safety and well-being of our employees, customers, and partners. We adopted proactive and preventive measures at all operating locations, ensuring that we comply with and often surpass regulatory and healthcare guidelines. It's a matter of pride for me to mention that the enterprise mobility segment of our company launched free emergency cab services in 9 cities, operating 3,000 trips over 40 days, in helping expecting mothers, senior citizens, differently abled, and others who are in need of transportation in these challenging times for healthcare and essential services. Despite these challenges, we ensured continuity of our operations to the customers who were required to continue essential services. A significant part of our workforce continued operations for these essential services through the severe phases of the lockdown. My compliments and appreciation to our business partner and the real heroes who worked at the ground level to ensure continuity of critical logistics. While overall volatility and slowdown of certain key industries is the new normal, your company is using this crisis as an opportunity for technology-driven innovation and creating new profit pools. Thus, while we'll be ready to leverage the demand recovery of the key impacted industries, your company will be placed well ahead to serve the new growth or sunrise sectors. Technology has always been a key enabler for us to innovate and deliver high service standards to our customers. We have embedded technology in all our operations with an aim to increase both productivity and efficiency through our transport management system, warehouse management system, warehouse automation, control towers, fully controlled network operations, and app-based delivered technology. In enterprise mobility, we offer GPS-enabled vehicles, app-enabled services, tech-enabled bookings to billing process, and real-time tracking for safety. Our fundamentals are strong, and investments made to a technology and knowledge capital allows us to tap into emerging opportunities rapidly and successfully. With the constitution of the mobility services sector, the Mahindra Group, being part of the same, your company will derive deeper synergies from the other companies within the sector. We are certain that with our robust value framework of inclusive success and earning trust, your company will continue its path of success despite the acute short-term challenges we all face today. In the highest tradition of governance and corporate stewardship of the Mahindra Group, we will continue to do well, and more importantly, continue to do good. As we endeavor to earn trust, we recognize that our stakeholders repose their trust in us. Thanks to a wide variety of sustainability programs and initiatives, our company has efficiently executed over the past several years. From initiatives such as logistics to community welfare program, driver training, sponsoring their children's education, electric vehicles, and using solar energy in warehouse. Our company has always valued the communities we work with and the natural resources we utilize. Our business associates program seeks to create opportunities for and support entrepreneurship, while our focus on diversity has liberated many myths. Both our customers and our employees continue to rate us highly on satisfaction and engagement scores respectively. We will continue to deliver on the trust of all our stakeholders as we live our purpose of accelerating commerce and empowering communities to rise. I welcome Mr. Ram Praveen Swaminathan, who has recently taken over as the MD and CEO, and wish him all the best for embarking on the journey of transformation ahead. It is said, without trust, you have nothing. With it, you can do great things. Your company has been fostering a culture of trust within, while also transferring it to its customer through services and solutions, as well to communities through its commitment towards making the world a better place. Your support and confidence in us even in trying times like this, continue to inspire us and will drive us to keep delivering value for the organization and all our stakeholders, which in turn will help build an Atmanirbhar Bharat, or a self-reliant India. Thank you. I now will move to the agenda items again. The proposal mentioned in the notice of AGM pertain to approval of audited, standalone and consolidated financial statement for the year ended 31st March 2020, a declaration of dividend, and 4 resolutions which are pertaining to appointment or reappointment of directors. The objectives and implications of the agenda items are already set out in the explanatory statement annexed to the notice of 13th AGM and for the sake of brevity are not being repeated again. In case member wish to seek any further clarification, they may raise them during the question and answer session or post their questions on the chat box available on the screen. Since the resolution mentioned in the notice convening this AGM have already been put to vote through remote e-voting, there will be no proposing and seconding of the resolution. I'll place proposals being considered at this meeting as stated in the notice of the AGM. Since I am interested in a resolution at item number 5 of the notice, which relates to my reappointment as non-executive director, I'll request this item be taken at the end after agenda item number 7. We will open the floor for any questions by members after all the resolutions are tabled. First, ordinary business. Item number 1. Adoption of the audited standalone financial statement for the year ended 31st March 2020 and the reports of the directors and statutory auditors report thereon. Item number 2. Adoption of the audited consolidated financial statement for the year ended 31st March 2020 together with the report of the statutory auditor thereon. Item number 3. Declaration of final dividend of rupees 1.50 per equity share for the financial year ended 31st March 2020. Item number 4. To appoint a director in place of Mr. Parag Shah, who retires by rotation and being eligible, offers himself for reappointment. Now special business. Item number 6. To appoint Mr. Ram Praveen Swaminathan as Managing Director and CEO of the company for a period of 5 years. Item number 7. To appoint Ms. Malvika Sinha as a non-executive independent director of the company. With the consent of the members, may I now request Mr. Darius Pandole, independent director, to take the chair and proceed with the proposal mentioned at item number 5 of the notice. Over to you, Darius.
Thank you, Partha. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I place item number 5 relating to the appointment of Mr. V.S. Parthasarathi as non-executive director of the company. Thank you. May I now request Mr. V.S. Parthasarathi, Chairman, take the chair and proceed with the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Darius. In compliance with the applicable laws, your company had provided the facility of remote e-voting to the members to enable them to cast the vote electronically through e-voting platform of NSDL. The remote e-voting period was open for 4 days from Saturday, 25th July 2020 from 9 a.m. and concluded on Wednesday, 29 July 2020 at 5 p.m. IST. Mr. Makran Joshi, practicing company secretary, has been appointed as scrutinizer to scrutinize the voting process through remote e-voting and e-voting at the e-voting at the meeting in a fair and transparent manner. Members attending the AGM who have not voted electronically through remote e-voting can cast the votes through e-voting system of NSDL. E-voting facility is now active and will close after 15 minutes from the conclusion of the meeting. Members are requested to go to the voting page of NSDL e-voting website and cast their vote, while at the same time watch the proceedings of the meeting. In case of any difficulty in casting your e-vote, you are requested to take assistance of NSDL help desk, the contact details of whom are mentioned in the AGM notice. The results of the remote e-voting aggregated with the results of e-voting at this AGM, along with the scrutinizer's report, shall be declared within 48 hours of this meeting and communicated to BSE and NSE, where the shares of the company are listed. I hereby authorize the CFO and the company secretary of the company to severally receive the scrutinizer's report and declare the results. The results will also be placed on the company's website and on the website of NSDL. We now proceed to our discussion and question and answer session. I will invite the members who are pre-registered as a speaker with the company one by one. Other members can submit their queries, questions, and comments by posting message on the communication chat box available on the screen. To avoid repetition, we will respond to all the questions at the end of the end together. May I now have the first speaker? Let me call out Mr. Aspi Besania, please. Mr. Besania.
You see me, sir? Can you see me? Chairman,
Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah, I can see you and I can hear you. Please go ahead.
I cannot.
Little bit louder, please. Can you come closer to the mic?
Sir. Okay, sir. I also welcome
Okay, I can't hear you.
I also welcome Mr. Swaminathan as a new MD, and I hope he takes the company to new heights. However, I would have appreciated if he had given a small speech about his what are his plans for the company and the roadmap for the next 1 year. Considering that first quarter result was very bad, the top line has become half, the bottom line has also gone very bad. So I would have appreciated if he had said something. And I would appreciate if he can say something after the meeting. Thank you, sir. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you, Aspi. That was very short. And yeah, next one is Mr. Kirti Shah. I understand Mr. Kirti Shah is not there. So let me call the next Mr. Anil Parekh. Anil?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hello. I can hear you very well, Anil.
Okay.
But I cannot see you.
1 minute. Yes. Now can you see me?
Yes, I can see you. And I can hear you very well. Thank you, Anil. You can go ahead.
Okay. Good afternoon to all the board members sitting at home and attending this VC meeting. I am first of all thankful to our CS team, Brijbala, Batwal, Archana, and all other CS team members for extending very good investor services and helping us in time of needs. So I'm really thankful to them. I would recollect that last year we had our Bhiwandi facility visit. It was heavily raining, and in spite of that heavy rain, we 4 shareholders were being able to go to Bhiwandi facilities. It is excellent facilities available there, and I'm I'm really complimenting to you all for such kind of facilities. Sir, I have gone through the entire balance sheet. I have some plus points to say and some negative points also to say. Kindly take it as a healthy comment. Am I right, sir? Hello?
Thank you. Go ahead. Please go ahead.
Hello. Sir, as the economy continues to combat the unprecedented uncertainty caused by COVID-19 pandemic, since the start of this calendar year, the year 2021 ahead of us will be a challenging year for all of us. Entire country was under lockdown since 24th March, and we all are forced to stay home this year, and all have to sitting home and attend VC AGM of our company. But I'm very much hopeful, sir, that next year again we can meet physically and greet each other. Since we find it very difficult attending this VC meeting, and it's not that much comfortable for us. So I would urge here to all the board members, kindly see to it that next year onwards, if company MCA and SEBI permits, we should hold meeting physically. Now, sir, I have some observations. Sir, we have spent net spent of CSR under CSR for COVID-19 is around 2.5 crore and 1,50,000 beneficiaries. Sir, I would like to know for which kind of help you have given this CSR expenditure. Sir, our standalone result says that compared to last year, we are 34% down. Our PAT has gone down to 34%. And so is coming year also, we'll see that kind of trend due to COVID-19. But in spite of all these things, still you have kept small shareholders' interest in your mind and declared 15% dividend. Sir, thank you very much for taking into consideration small shareholders' interest. So now some questions. Sir, we have two operating segments, that is SCM and EMS. Sir, are you able to hear me?
Yes, very clearly. Please go ahead.
Okay. Sir, our SCM segment is down by 12% and EMS segment is down by 4%. How likely this year you are seeing due to COVID pandemic and all other challenges, how likely it will be down? I would like to know. Sir, and who are our competitors in supply chain management and all that? I have seen in and around our BYD facilities, there are so many companies having same kind of facilities available. So I would like to know how many are competitors to us and how many locations we have. Sir, we have two subsidiaries. One is Lord's Freight, which is having income of only 205 crores. And net profit of only 1.52 crores. So that means that we are generating net profit of only 1.5%, 1.5% of total revenue generated by Lord's Freight. And second one is 2x2 Logistics. Sir, there also we have losses. And third is our joint venture, TLPL, providing solutions for transport management to third party. There also, I have seen only 1.72 crores income. Sir, I would like to have your views for all these three companies and how they will fare in coming 2 to 3 years. I would like to know from you. Sir, also, how we are ready for COVID-19 for protection of our employees, customers, and all the facilities. If you can throw light, that would be better. Sir, also, how we are future ready as far as future is e-commerce business. It will generate more and more revenue for us. So I would like to have your views on that. Sir, last but not the least, we have 6,000 drivers and 5,500 vehicles deployed per day. Sir, at how many locations these all are working and how you are managing all these things? It is a wonder. If you can throw light on that, that would be better. Sir, I understand this is the younger company in Mahindra Group and there are many more achievements to make from this company. Sir, I'm extending wholehearted support to all the management, board members, and I'm proposing all the resolutions strongly today. Thank you, sir, for patient hearing.
Thank you, Anil. Much appreciated. Next is Mr. Dinesh Bhatia.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yes, Dinesh, I can hear you. Mr. Dinesh Bhatia, I can hear you, but I cannot see you. Please go ahead and speak. I mean, you are very clear.
हेलो, हाँ, मैं दिनेश भाटिया बोलता हूँ। फर्स्ट तो चेयरमैन श्री, मैं आपको, आपका पूरा बोर्ड, डायरेक्टर की टीम को और आपके जो सेक्रेटरी डिपार्टमेंट में जो है ब्रिजबाला बेन, उनको और उनके सब साथीदार को थैंक्स करता हूँ कि आप लोग ने बहुत अच्छी मेहनत की है। हम देखते हैं कि अभी मार्केट जो कोविड के हिसाब से ट्रांसपोर्ट मार्केट को तो ज्यादा से ज्यादा इफेक्ट ट्रैवल्स, ट्रांसपोर्ट और एयरपोर्ट को हुआ है, जिसमें हमारा बिजनेस जो है लॉजिस्टिक है, तो हमें भी इफेक्ट हुआ है। लेकिन आपने, हमारा कंपनी ने खाली 10% ही लास्ट ईयर से रिवेन्यू कम हुआ है। खाली जो लास्ट ईयर हमारा जो रिवेन्यू था 3,800 करोड़ के ऊपर था, 3,850 करोड़, ये साल हमारा 3,460 करोड़ हुआ है। जो खाली थोड़ा सा इतना भी रेवेन्यू जो है वो हमारा कंपनी के लिए बहुत अच्छी बात है। हमें बहुत खुशी होती है कि हमारी कंपनी तरक्की कर रही है। इतना खराब पीरियड में भी हमारी कंपनी अच्छा सा काम, इतना 1000 ऑफ करोड़ का बिजनेस ले रही है। जो हमारा प्रॉफिट आफ्टर टैक्स भी है, जो भले लास्ट ईयर 86 करोड़ था, लेकिन ये साल हमारा स्टिल 55 करोड़ हमारा जो प्रॉफिट आफ्टर टैक्स है, वो भी एक अच्छा साइनिंग है कि हम लॉस में नहीं है, मुनाफे में है। और उसमें भी एक तो गर्व जैसी बात है कि हमारा कंपनी ने जो ₹7.71 कमाई की है पर शेयर, उसमें से आपने ₹1.50 पर शेयर डिविडेंड के स्वरूप में दिया है। तो उसके लिए भी मैं आपको, आपका टीम को थैंक्स करता हूँ कि बहुत अच्छी बात है। हम आपको ये तो खास ध्यान रखिए कि डिविडेंड लिस्ट में तो भले कम मुनाफा हुए तो भी एकदम डिविडेंड बंद मत कर देना। डिविडेंड लिस्ट पे रहेंगी तो इन्वेस्टर लोग का हमारा कंपनी में ध्यान रहेगा, इंटरेस्ट भी रहेगा। दूसरा, मैं एक दो चीज का मेरा जो सवाल, दो हमारी सब्सिडी है उसके बारे में मेरे को आपको पूछना था कि एक तो हमारी लोड फ्रेट इंडिया प्राइवेट लिमिटेड, उसमें 82.90% है स्टेक, तो इंटरनेशनल फ्रेट सर्विसेज का कामकाज है। तो बाकी किसका है, उसमें रिमेनिंग परसेंटेज किसका होल्डिंग है? और अब 2/2 लॉजिस्टिक प्राइवेट लिमिटेड, जिसमें हमारा 55% है, होल्डिंग, तो 45% किसका होल्डिंग है? और ये ट्रांसटेक लॉजिस्टिक प्राइवेट लिमिटेड जो है, उसका ट्रांसपोर्ट मैनेजमेंट सॉल्यूशन का जो सॉफ्टवेयर सर्विस का है, जिसमें आपने स्ट्रेटेजिक एक्वायर ए स्ट्रेटेजिक स्टेक 39.79% स्टेक आपने एक्वायर किया है, तो कितना उसमें हमने इन्वेस्टमेंट किया नया, और पहले का कितना था, अभी हमारा कितना स्टेक हो गया उसमें? और लास्टली में एक चीज जिसके बारे में आप जरा ब्रीफ में समझाएंगे, तो अपने रिपोर्ट में दिख रहा है कि फॉर्मेशन ऑफ मोबाइलिटी सर्विसेज सेक्टर इन December 2019, the Mahindra Group announced formation of the mobility service sector MSS April 1, 2020 से वो स्टार्ट होने वाला था, सर्विस इफेक्टिव होने वाला था, एंड MLL ट्रांसटिट्यूशन फ्रॉम महिंद्रा पार्टनर्स टू दिस न्यू होम सेक्टर, जो नया होम सेक्टर आप करने वाले थे, जो अप्रैल से स्टार्ट करने वाला थे, उसका क्या हुआ? वो चालू हुआ कि क्या हुआ? द मोबाइलिटी सर्विस सेक्टर includes a range of Mahindra business that provide innovative technology driven solution for effective movement of people and goods. In addition, this sector will be the incubation platform and growth driven by the Mahindra Group. In technology driven mobility companies with the vision of co-creative the future mobility. A part of MLL, the other companies within the mobility service sector include India #1 multi and certified used car company Mahindra First Choice Will and Canada Bike Mahindra First Choice Services. तो ये उसके बारे में जरा आप जानकारी देंगे कि वो क्या नया सर्विस आप चालू करने वाले थे और उसका अभी पोजीशन क्या है? बाकी तो आप लोग जो सब करते हैं कार्य, उसमें बहुत बढ़िया ही कार्य कर रहे हैं। हमारा आपका हर एक रिजोल्यूशन को सपोर्ट है। थैंक यू, आपने हमें बोलने का मौका दिया।
थैंक यू वेरी मच दिनेश भाई। नेक्स्ट इज मिस आशा लता जी।
हेलो चेयरमैन साहब, मेरी आवाज आती है?
आपकी आवाज, हाँ, आप दिखाई भी दे रहे हैं और आपकी आवाज भी बुलंद है, बोलिए।
श्रीमान चेयरमैन, मेरे डायरेक्टर भाई, मेरा नाम आशा लता महेश्वरी। चेयरमैन साहब, आपको तो मैं महिंद्रा से जानती हूँ। वैसे आप मुझे भूल गए होंगे, मैं नहीं भूली आपको। और आज मुझे सौभाग्य प्राप्त हुआ वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग से मीटिंग अटेंड कर, और जिस तरह आप अपनी टीम के साथ कोविड महामारी के समय सभी चैलेंजेस फेस करके ग्रोथ सस्टेन करने में लगे हैं ताकि शेयर होल्डर वैल्यू एनहांस हो, तो सबसे पहले मैं शुभकामनाएं देते हुए कहूंगी, उगता हुआ सूरज रोशनी दे आपको, खिलता हुआ फूल खुशबू दे आपको, हम तो कुछ देने के काबिल नहीं, देने वाला हजार खुशियां दे आपको। फिर मैं अपनी स्वीट एंड चार्मिंग सेक्रेटरी ब्रिजबाला और उनकी टीम को धन्यवाद देती हूँ, जिन्होंने कोविड सिचुएशन में भी अकाउंट जल्दी फाइनलाइज किए और बहुत अच्छी इन्वेस्टर सर्विस दे रही हैं। परिणाम देखें, और जैसा कि हम सब जानते हैं कि कोविड महामारी के कारण इकोनॉमी वर्स्ट हो गई है और जीडीपी भी माइनस हो रही है, जिसके कारण हमारे परफॉर्मेंस भी इफेक्ट हुए। इनकम की प्रॉफिट दोनों ही घटे और डिविडेंड भी घटाकर 15% कर दिया। मैं तो फिर भी आपको धन्यवाद देती हूँ, ऐसे समय में भी आपने शेयर होल्डर का ध्यान रखा। पर चेयरमैन साहब, करंट ईयर में आपका क्या फ्यूचर रोड मैप है कंपनी के परफॉर्मेंस इंप्रूव करने के लिए? जबकि मैक्सिमम बिजनेस तो महिंद्रा से आता है। उनकी वर्किंग डे कोविड के कारण इम्पैक्ट हुई है। तो आप सबकी मैं तो हिम्मत बढ़ाते हुए यहाँ पर कहूंगी, मंजिल इंसान के हौसले आजमाती है, सपनों के पर्दे आंखों से हटाती है। किसी भी बात से हिम्मत ना हारना, ठोकर ही इंसान को चलना सिखाती है। और चेयरमैन साहब, एनी कैपेक्स प्रोग्राम ड्यूरिंग द ईयर, और कैसे आप इस फंड को रेस करेंगे? देखा जाए तो हमें कोई चिंता की बात ही नहीं। महिंद्रा का बैकिंग है और महिंद्रा की बहुत रेपुटेशन है मार्केट में। कुछ समय की बात है, जैसे ही इकोनॉमी रिवाइव होगी, परफॉर्मेंस और भी इम्प्रूव हो जाएंगे। और ऊपर से हमारे चेयरमैन और एमडी दोनों ही का नाम जो है वो भगवान के ऊपर है, तो कभी कोई तकलीफ मेरे ख्याल से आनी नहीं चाहिए। और बस यहाँ पूरी ट्रांसपेरेंसी भी है, और ये सच है कि हिम्मत बढ़ाना का काम है इस वक्त हमारा, जो हालत आजकल देश की जा रही है। और यहाँ पूरी ट्रांसपेरेंसी है, स्टेट फॉरवर्ड मैनेजमेंट है। और चेयरमैन साहब, मैं तो यही कहूंगी यहाँ पर कि अगले साल के लिए फूल आपके कदमों की जन्नत बनेंगे, हर कली आपके दामन में होगी। खुदा ने अगर चाहा तो अगली मुलाकात जरूर हैंडसम डिविडेंड के साथ होगी। और ये समय जो है हिम्मत बढ़ाने का है। सभी एम्प्लॉयज एग्जीक्यूटिव को मैं सैल्यूट देती हूँ। ऐसी महामारी के समय अपनी जान हथेली पर रखकर कंपनी की प्रगति में योगदान दे रहे हैं। विशेषकर ब्रिजवाला जो सेक्रेटरी है हमारी, बहुत मृदुभाषी है, बहुत अच्छी इन्वेस्टर सर्विस दे रही है। भगवान उनका भविष्य उज्जवल करे। ब्रिजवाला ब्रिज की बाला है। और चेयरमैन साहब, और तो बस सब यही कहूंगी मैं कि सब खुश रहें। मेरी शुभकामनाएं हैं आपके साथ में हमेशा, और शुभकामनाएं दूं आपको और आपकी फैमिली को कि वो हमेशा उनकी लंबी और सुखी आयु हो। और शुभकामनाएं देते हुए लास्ट में कहूंगी, चुपके से चांद की रोशनी छू जाए आपको, धीरे से महकती हवाएं छू जाए आपको। दिल से जो चाहते हो मांग लो खुदा से, हम भी दुआ करते हैं वो सब मिल जाए आपको। और फुल स्ट्रांगली सपोर्ट देते हुए मैं सभी रेजोल्यूशन में फुल सपोर्ट देते हुए धन्यवाद देती हूँ।
थैंक यू आशा जी, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। एंड लास्ट बट नॉट लीस्ट, द लास्ट रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन एंड मेंबर इज तमल कुमार मजुमदार। तमल जी, अब आप आ जाइए और सवाल और बातचीत करिए। Tamal, I can't hear you.
You can't hear?
Yeah, now it is clear. So you can start once again, please. Earlier I couldn't hear you.
Actually, good afternoon, Partha sir, and other directors of the company. Nice to see all of you in good health. Myself, Tamal Kumar Mazumdar, an equity shareholder from Kolkata. Sir, convey my best wishes to your predecessor, Jubin Saab also. I have some queries relating to audited accounts and other matters and seek your indulgence. Sir, during financial year 20, turnover and PBT on standalone basis as well as on consolidated basis decreased substantially in comparison to financial year 19. But if we consider the impact of COVID-19 pandemic in Q4, financial year 20, small performance in auto industry, then the management must be complimented for the current year's result. It booked a profit and declared dividend also. As the COVID-19 pandemic is still continuing, would you please share with us the expectation from the remaining part of the year? And sir, I want to thank you for another reason, that is your fantastic presentation today. Fantastic presentation, sir. And sir, our company used to depend on our parent and group companies for more than half of its business. During previous year, parent and group companies contributed 2,062 crores out of standalone turnover of 3,666 crores, or 56% of the turnover. During this year, that is financial year 20,
Companies, including parent, contributed a revenue of 1,705 crores out of turnover of 3,261 crores on standalone basis, or 52% of total turnover. So decrease in revenue of 357 crores, that is 2,062 minus 1,705 from parent and group companies is also responsible for decrease in our revenue during the current year. Sir, what steps you are considering to decrease the dependence on parents? Your thoughts, sir, in this regard. Sir, as per page 220, revenue from enterprise mobility services segment during financial year 20 was 368 crores, which comes to only 12% of turnover on standalone basis during financial year 20. As our report mentioned that it's a sunrise segment. What is your expectation from the segment within a span of next 5 years? And do you believe that it will be a money spinner for our company in the long run? Sir, the management discussion and analysis mentioned the size of Indian logistics sector and 3PL market where we operate as 19 lakhs 56,000 crores and 58,000. As regards 3PL market is concerned, it is around 358,000 crores respectively during financial year 20. Our share in 3PL market during financial year 20 was nearly 6% only. So the company management is advocating for asset-light model, which is being affected as the NBFC sector, a major source of vehicle financing, is in deep trouble. Taking into account also the stress in auto sector, from where the growth will come during the remaining part of financial year 21. Do you believe that the formation of mobility service sector of our group with effect from 1/4/2020 has given us more focused move? Please share your thoughts in this regard. And sir, contribution, Anil also said and others also said regarding the contribution of two of your subsidiaries, namely 2x2 Logistics Private Limited and Lords Freight Private Limited, where we invested 17.40 crores. In turnover and profit, there was a mere 253 crores, 48 plus 205 crores, and a profit of 0.39 crores. In case of one company, it was a profit of 202.07% crores, and in case of other is a loss of 1.68 crores. What is your thinking in this regard? Is there any proposal to make them 100% subsidiary in the near future? When do you expect both will contribute positively to our profitability? And sir, when we may expect conversion of 0.01% compulsorily convertible preference shares of 3.99 crores held by us in Transtech Logistics Private Limited into equity shares? Sir, the company has a balance of rupees 460 crores on account of its share premium and retained earnings against an equity base of 72 crores as on 31st March 2020. Whether our company may conserve that cash or go for bargain hunting during the year using the fund. And lastly, my special thanks to our company secretary, Mr. Brijbala Batwal, for calling me to explain the procedure for registration, helping me to join today's virtual meeting and also to take part in the deliberations. Thank you all for patient hearing.
Thank you, Tamal. As usual, lots of questions which we need to think about. And thank you to all the speakers for your questions and good wishes. Yeah. Can I go ahead? Yeah, Ruchi? Okay. At Mahindra Logistics, trust is the force that binds us together. Our go-getters, business associates, customers, investors, and our communities. It is deeply embedded in the way we work, engage with our customers and other stakeholders, and remain one of our overarching purpose principles. Our approach is to continue to nurture a culture of trust within our ecosystem, while also passing it on to our band patrons through our industry-leading services and solutions, as well as to the communities through our commitment towards making the world a better place. I would like to share with you a short video on how we drive innovative solutions for our customers that offer cost efficiency and improved throughput.
ये कहानी हिम्मत की है। भारत का एक छोटा सा गांव, सूखे की अवस्था और एक नौजवान रमेश की।
राज्य में बारिश न होने की वजह से सूखे की स्थिति गंभीर बताई जा रही है। मौसम विभाग का कहना है कि राज्य में कुछ दिनों तक बारिश का कोई अंदेशा नहीं है। इसी के साथ आज के समाचार यही समाप्त होते हैं। नमस्कार।
ऐसे नहीं चलेगा, कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा।
क्या करेगा? अरे सब कुछ ऊपर वाले के हाथ में है, कभी तो बारिश होगी। धीरज धीरज।
और कितना धीरज बाबा, सब कुछ तो खत्म हो चुका है।
अब क्या करें? कितनी लंबी चादर है उतनी समझ में आया तेरे?
सूखी सी है सांसें, सूखा है ये आंगन, खाली हथेली टटोली रही एक अंतहीन धुंधलापन। कब तक करेगा तू इंतजार, कब जाएगा तू छिपा। हिम्मत को तू जोड़ और तोड़ के सारी बेड़ियां। देख जरा बुधवार से अंबर तक की है सीढ़ियां। तू भर ले तू उड़ा, वो भर ले तू उड़ा, भर ले तू उड़ा, ही भर ले तू उड़ा। तब रोए थे जब सपने तेरे सारे सब सोए थे। अब जा खुदा है तेरे अंदर का सूरज, हाथों में पकड़े किस्मत, दिल में अपनों की मूरत के कटवा मेहनत के पहिए आएगा तेरे सपनों को ये पसंद और देश को आगे बढ़ाएगा।
और इस तरह महिंद्रा लॉजिस्टिक्स के साथ जुड़कर रमेश ने डटकर अपनी परिस्थितियों का सामना किया। अगले साल बारिश हुई और खुशियों की फसलें लहलहा उठी। अब रमेश के पिता खेतों में सोना उगाते हैं और रमेश अपनी जैसे देश के हजारों लोगों की तरह महिंद्रा लॉजिस्टिक्स के साथ अपने सपनों की उड़ान भरे जा रहा है।
At Mahindra Logistics Limited, we strive to earn the trust of our customers by fulfilling all our promises. Our tailor-made end-to-end logistics solutions not only help them achieve increased efficiency, but also enable them to increase the happiness quotient of their own customers. We will now take you on a tour of a returns processing center in Bengaluru, which is being completely managed by us to showcase how we achieve excellence continuously.
Mahindra Logistics Limited manages a returns processing center in Bengaluru for one of India's largest e-commerce player. It is a one-of-a-kind facility where we process shipments returned by customers under our client's 30 days return policy. In the apparel industry, all companies and marketplaces face a significant challenge around product returns. This can vary between 27 to 60% of purchased products. Returns typically get buried in reverse logistics systems, resulting in significant delays before these products are made usable again. The delay results in higher inventory, new purchases by customers, and often obsolete which has to be sold in clearances and end of inventory sales. We are also proud of the fact that we employ 100 plus women associates at this facility, a key step in diversity. We also have well-deployed safety systems and practices. Features: 72-hour turnaround, 90% pass-through on conversion and correction, shipments to over 300 plus vendors, 55,000 packages per day, 20 million per annum. Revenue on per piece model with minimum guaranteed volume.
Thank you. We can start, I support, yeah? So, hello everyone. I will now respond to the queries raised and a few questions, or if one question which has come from the chat box. Okay. Now, let me start with Aspi Besania. Thank you, first of all, for supporting and talking that you would like to hear more from our MD, his views on the way ahead and brief on the roadmap of the company. The annual report considers his vision, and what he has suggested is that by 2026, we should see a company of 10,000 crores. And he's laid down many stepping stones in the annual report. I would like you to go through it and give your feedback, and we will be happy to receive it. Also, you said, can you talk to us about the current year? I think after every quarterly result, the MD and the CFO talk to the analyst and the press. I'm sure you will get an ongoing update, and I will take more feedback from you next year when we come up. So thank you very much. Much appreciated your feedback. The next speaker was Anil Parekh. Anil, thank you very much. You complimented us on how you visited the Bhiwandi facilities even on a rainy day. Okay, and it made your day. I'm very happy to hear that, and I would like to our stakeholders always to be connected and trust in us, and which is what your words told us. You also talked to us about this being a challenging year. So the next year, your question was, will we do a physical meeting? One is we will always be guided by what our environment is and what is the government rules and regulation at the point of time. What we need to do is to make sure that we get all the good things out of this pandemic which it has taught us. At the same time, I must admit, like you, that there is a lot of benefit in meeting and greeting in person. So we will do a combination and we will see how the atmosphere pans out, how the rules and regulation at that point of time, and if the occasion, as they say, mauka or dastur agar dono hai, so then we will also may see you physically next year. The next question is in terms of you got 2.5 crores CSR, you have spent 1.5 lakh beneficiary. What kind of people got helped by it? One of our major initiative, which is at group level, is Nani Kali, and we continue to spearhead that even in MLL. There is also a Gram Vikas, which we participate in it. The drivers welfare, called as Samantar, is also a very important initiative because through that we help our driver brothers who are in this one. And ESOPs, we drive a lot more, which is in terms of blood donation. We also do a lot of training on road safety. All these are initiatives that we take. The CSR amount spent on Nani Kali, girl child education, village adoption, driver training, managing the COVID situation, our allied emergency services, food distribution services, etc. So these are the various kind of things we do. I'm not going into what is the breakup of each one of them, but it is there in your annual report, which you can please see. Okay, so you talked about two operating segments, SCM down by 12% and UMS down by 4%. And your question was, how will we see as faring? I think a lot of things will depend on how the pandemic plays out. So we will see how the industry behaves, what kind of shaped recovery we have, and when do we have the recovery. All of this will tell. But what we can do as a company is what we are focused on. We are focused on growth segments which are already growing, like even in this pandemic, like e-commerce and pharma. We are focused on the other segments which are, like the retail, consumer, etc., and which are also, we believe, growth will quickly come there. We are also focused on our traditional segment because when the recovery happens, and if it happens on, we want to be ready and able to take advantage of it. So these are all the steps that we are doing, and all of it has technology as a backbone. And we are focusing in this time to see how do we catch up and how do we go ahead in technology and process areas. So we are using this time, as they say, never let a crisis go waste, and we are trying to do all that. And when things come out, we will be in a good position to take care of growing sectors, to take care of recovery sectors, and we hope that we will come out stronger out of this crisis. The next one is in terms of who are the competitors in supply chain management and how many locations are we in, and so on. So let me say, we have many competitors depending on which segment that we talk about. In EMS side, there are things like Ovis, Oryx, Avis, Lithium, and many other competitors there. Okay, so if you look at startups and technology segment, you will have Delivery, Stella Value Chain, Rivigo, these kind of competitors. If you look at consumer sector, it could be Future Group. You also have TVS Logistics, especially in the auto industry, or DHL. So there are many competitors depending on how you slice and dice, but they are also great opportunities for us to kind of look at different ways, and therefore from a technology, from a startup point of view, etc., and see how we can take advantage of this crisis, and how do we emerge static. So we are using new growth segment, as I said, we are using technology, as I said, and hopefully these things will pan out well. The next one, in terms of question, is there any other question from him? Is about, no. I had one more question from Anil, which is regarding we have large subsidiary, yeah, and we also 2x2 subsidiaries. Both of them seem to have a small revenue for the first one and a very small profit. So what I would like to say is as follows. Both of them represent strategic choices that we have made. For example, one is in the freight forwarding area, and freight forwarding is very, very important for us to enlarge our footprint. And that also has benefit not just in that company, which is say Lords, but also in the parent company, which is MLL. So we get a double kind of benefit, and that has helped us grow faster even in the parent company. So we will continue to focus on this company, and these we hope will become very important and strategic parts and grow business for themselves and also help overall our consolidated results to grow very strongly. So that's the outlook from a 3.44 years. Specifically, we don't give guidelines, so I'll have to not be able to, I will not be able to go into specifics, but generally they are both strategic and they allow us to help reach the vision of 10,000 crores in 2026. So the next question that I saw from you, and it is a very important question, is how are we protecting employee and customers in COVID-19? One of our biggest challenge is that from day one, we had to support essential services from going. So we had to be very, very clear and very measured in the way we went about it. So employee safety and well-being was our first priority and remains our first priority. And we have taken all precautions in this regard. Also, we even now, when anybody employee walks in, he has to fill in a complete form so we know his current health status. And we also are helping them continue to be in good health, but also if that, if there is a home quarantine to be done or some tests to be done, there also we are helping them so we can partner with employees in their well-being. Additionally, we have arranged an HR helpline number and support email ID for any support required during lockdown. Arranged PPE for all employees, also provided additional insurance to employees on site. Wherever possible, we have allowed employees to work from home. So we've taken all precautions and we have let them be firm. You also talked about your power partners. You're absolutely right. They are our important constituents, and all the things that we are doing for ourselves, we are doing for our partners as well. So that I think answers most of your questions, Anil. I've tried to be as comprehensive as I can be. Okay, so let me go to the next speaker, which is Dinesh Bhatia. Okay, Dinesh, thank you very much. बहुत धन्यवाद. आपने हम सबको बधाई दिया. You thanked all of us and you complimented all of us, and I take that feedback with, and will share that with all people. You also were very positive and you put it in a very good light कि last year हमारी सिर्फ 10% turnover नीचे गई, and we had a very high turnover of 3,000 odd crores. We also had a profit of 55 crores, which you also appreciative. And the dividend also you are appreciative that even in a tough year you had given. We take all this feedback and thank you very much. So you also talked about our subsidiary lot fleet handling 83%. And if you are also asking whether, what happened, who is holding the balance? Our erstwhile partners were holding the balance, but you must recently have seen that our holding in fact went up. So in 2x2, you asked about our other partners, and in Lords now our shareholding is 99%. In the 2x2, IVC Logistics holds the balance 45%. I hope that answers your question. In transport management services, your questions of what was it? It was an important that we have control over software and deployment both in our partners, in our own software, as well as later on, we could use it to catapult ourselves from a solution perspective. So that's what we had brought this company for. We are using it. We are first foolproofing it, and then we will make more investments. Our investment is not very high in that company. Okay. Coming to mobility sector, you talked about the new sector and you wanted a little more detail. There is also Tamal who asked about that question. So let me combine both these questions and try and answer here. Mahindra started from 1st April a new sector which is called mobility services sector. Mobility services sector, I say, is made up of 3 parts. I give almost a formula which says it is a combination of TaaS plus VaaS plus MaaS. So what it means is TaaS is Mahindra Logistic kind of company, which is transportation as a service. The VaaS is vehicle as a service. So how do we, and I will talk about what is included there. And the third part is MaaS, which is mobility as a solution. So we are present in transportation solutions and services, vehicle solutions and services, and mobility solutions and services. So this is what it belongs. TaaS is very clear, Mahindra Logistics, so I don't need to explain anything more. It includes all the services that has already been explained in the balance sheet. In VaaS, vehicle as a service, it includes all the aftermarket service and sales of vehicles that we do. So it has 2 companies there, which is called Mahindra First Choice Wheels and Mahindra First Choice Service. Recently, Mahindra First Choice Wheels acquired a company called Car and Bike, where it is helping customers find vehicles of their choice, both new and pre-owned, and also it is helping dealers and others connect to their customers in a big way. So we hope that this is a big addition in that area. The third portion is mobility as a sector. And mobility as a sector, Mahindra Logistics plays a lead role there also in having Alight, which is the enterprise mobility as they call it. We also have in that sphere companies which we are managing, which is Meru, Mahindra. The other company is a Mahindra division, which is called Glide, and Hop, which is providing solution to it. And also there are investments that we have made in Porter, which is connecting in transportation area the intra-city load givers and load receivers, and companies like investment in companies like Zoomcar. So this is what is the portfolio all about. What we think is there is huge synergy in this sector from a technology point of view, from reaching out to customers and devising solutions and systems. So we hope that this sector is able to bring these solutions and services together for better experiences for the customer, better solutions for the customer, and in the process, catapult ourselves into the next league. So like transportation has said that it will do 10,000 crores. We can have, in Mahindra, we are saying that we have $3 billion market cap candidates. Mahindra Logistics is very close to it and maybe will be a $2 billion candidate. Mahindra First Choice Wheels is another candidate for $1 billion market cap, and third, mobility can be $1 million market cap. And together they can be reached there faster and help the customers in the process. So this is our mobility sector, and this is where MLL is part of and a very important piece of that sector. Now let me go to Asha Lata Maheshwari. आशा जी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. आपने कहा कि आप हमें पहले से जानती हैं, हम भी आपको पहले से जानते हैं और हम आपको भूले नहीं हैं. दूसरी चीज, आपकी शुभकामनाएं के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. मैं सबके पर में सबको ये शुभकामनाएं दूंगा वापस पहुंचकर। और आपने कहा बहुत सारे पोएट्री कविताएं कही, चंद कहे और दोहे तो नहीं लेकिन शेर कहे। तो मैं इतना कहता हूं, जब आप हमें अपना कहती हैं, अपने पे गुरूर आ जाता है। थैंक यू वेरी मच। हमारे हौसले इसी तरह हौसले अफजाई कीजिए और हम भी चाहते हैं कि आपको बहुत सारे और रिटर्न्स इन टर्म्स ऑफ मार्केट कैप इंक्रीज एक्सेट्रा फ्यूचर में दे सकें। आपने कहा महिंद्रा एंड महिंद्रा के ऊपर काफी डिपेंडेंस है। हमारा ये कहना है कि पहले अगर 3-4 साल पहले देखें तो 70% से ऊपर ज्यादा महिंद्रा से बिजनेस आती थी और बाकी से 30% आते थे। आज अगर लास्ट ईयर आप देखें तो जैसे तमिल साहब ने भी बताया 55-56% करीब महिंद्रा से आता है, बाकी 45% बाहर से आता है। तो हमें ये नहीं करना है कि महिंद्रा से कोई बिजनेस कम करना है, हमें ये करना है कि हमें जितने बिजनेस महिंद्रा से मिल सकता है महिंद्रा के साथ ग्रो करना है। लेकिन बाकी के साथ अगर हम ज्यादा फास्ट ग्रो कर सकें तो इससे क्या होगा कि ओवरऑल डिपेंडेंस कम होगी बट हमारी ग्रोथ रेट बढ़ जाएगी। दिस इज द स्ट्रेटेजी ऑफ महिंद्रा लॉजिस्टिक्स। हम नए इंडस्ट्री जो कि ग्रो कर रहे हैं जैसे ई कॉमर्स, उनसे जुड़ रहे हैं और उनके लिए सॉल्यूशंस ला रहे हैं जिससे वहां पे हमारी ग्रोथ हो सके। एक जैसे दूसरे कंज्यूमर एंड रिटेल उन जगह पे भी कर रहे हैं और हम जैसे अभी जो ऑटो और ट्रैक्टर है उन पे भी फोकस करें। जैसे ट्रैक्टर अभी ग्रो कर रहा है तो हम उनके साथ उस पे ग्रो करेंगे और अदर सेक्टर्स लाइक फार्मा एटसेट्रा उनके ऊपर भी फोकस करेंगे। सो हमारी फोकस सारे सेक्टर पे रहेगी और न्यू ग्रोथ सेक्टर्स पे ज्यादा। ओवर ए पीरियड हम मानते हैं कि ये सेक्टर्स फास्टर ग्रो कर सकते हैं क्योंकि हमारी बेस भी छोटी है उधर, तो उधर फास्टर ग्रो करेंगे तो ओवरऑल ग्रोथ रेट भी बढ़ेगी और हमारी जो है रेशियो फॉर M&M वर्सेस नॉन M&M भी थोड़ा लेस देन 50% आएगा एंड देन मोर दिस। बट हम चाहते हैं कि ग्रोथ सब जगह से आए। दिस इज अवर थिंग। एनी कैपेक्स, आपने नेक्स्ट सवाल पूछा था, एनी कैपेक्स प्रोग्राम ड्यूरिंग द ईयर्स। हम जो है हमारी कैपेक्स और इन्वेस्टमेंट जो है टेक्नोलॉजी पे कर रहे हैं। हम अपनी इन्वेस्टमेंट जो है इन टर्म्स ऑफ ब्रिंगिंग सॉल्यूशंस कर रहे हैं और इन मेकिंग अप द वेयरहाउसेस मच मोर, वेयरहाउसेस को टेक्नोलॉजिकली एडवांस बना रहे। सो दैट इज व्हाट वी आर फोकसिंग। बट हमारी हमेशा कैपेक्स छोटी रहेगी। क्यों? क्योंकि हम एक एसेट लाइट कंपनी है और इसके कारण क्या होता है कि हमें मेजर इन्वेस्टमेंट्स उन चीजों पे नहीं करना पड़ता है जैसे कि व्हीकल्स एक्सेट्रा जो और लोग करते हैं। हम उधर पार्टनरशिप में बिलीव करते हैं। तो पर ये कैपेक्स वगैरह के लिए भी पैसे चाहिए होंगे जो इन्वेस्टमेंट टेक्नोलॉजी। हम ये फील करते हैं कि हमारी जो कैश फ्लो है इट इज गुड इनफ फॉर मी टू अफोर्ड दिस इन्वेस्टमेंट्स फ्रॉम विद दैट कैश फ्लो इटसेल्फ। बट अगर जरूरत पड़ी फ्यूचर में तो हम मानते हैं कि हम आपके पास वापस आएंगे और आप लोग हमें हमें सपोर्ट करेंगे और हमारा समर्थन करेंगे या ऐसे कोई प्रपोजल जो आएगी। बट फिलहाल इसकी कोई जरूरत नहीं पड़नी चाहिए। नेक्स्ट इज आपने गुड मैनेजमेंट गुड लीडरशिप की कही और उनको गुड विशेस दिए, हम उन सबको पास ऑन करेंगे। नेक्स्ट टाइम आपने कहा कि हैंडसम डिविडेंड के साथ वापस आएंगे, आपके मुंह में घी शक्कर। अगली बार जब मुलाकात होगी तो उन परिस्थितियों में जो होगा और whatever is the right thing to do, we will certainly do that. And जैसा हमने कहा आपके मुंह में घी शक्कर। Last is Tamal Kumar Majumdar. Tamal, I always am inspired by the amount of detail you go into and the incisive questions that you ask. Thank you very much. You've been very kind to us because you have also found what are the good things that are happening. Thank you very much for that. I will convey the best wishes to Zubin. You said, given auto and COVID, the last year performance, you saw it in that light, and thank you. You also complimented about our presentation. Thank you very much. We are inspired by our stakeholders, and this will help us even better do better next time. So you have asked about dependence of M&M. I think I have amply answered that question when I combined that question with the other. But first, let me at least answer the COVID impact for the rest of the year. So first is there are demand side impacts and there are supply side impacts. The demand side impact is based on how customer verticals will do. What is happening to auto, what's happening to pharma, what's happening to consumer, what's happening to e-commerce, and so on. Okay. So the second one is on the supply side. You know, many times when we find that when we need, drivers have to come back and their impact, how different towns and different cities are impacted by the COVID, that also impacts our supply and so on. Like many others, we are monitoring every location very closely. Yeah, quantifying this at this stage will not be right, but what we can assure you is that we are operating on a micro grid. We are looking at each element and saying how can we do better in that, and using this time to invest in technology, in processes, etc., to make ourselves better. And therefore, as the economy goes up, we hope that we are in the right place at the right time and take advantage of it. Okay. The next one is in terms of Sunrise segment. I think you talked about enterprise revenue of enterprise mobility expectation over the next 5 years. The sector will evolve, Tamal, because based on COVID, how the new customer demand and support comes, many things will depend on it. But what we are clear is that overall, we have put a focus, Ram and Mr. Ram Praveen Swaminathan and team have put a vision of 10,000 crores, and clearly we have to grow both in the transportation side and the enterprise segment side, and that's what we will do. So that's the broad answer there I can give you. So I've already answered the decrease in revenue and what dependence on the parent. So let me go to 3PL being a big market and we are only 6% market share. There are many ways to slice this market, Tamal, but we ourselves believe that we can grow much faster and we have a long and high places to reach in future. And 10,000 as one vision statement we have said is just one milestone in terms of reaching it. And maybe we will do everything in our control, okay, and put all the efforts to prove your point about possibility of growth being there and grow faster. Okay. You talked about MSS. I have already covered that in great detail, so I will not repeat it. You talked about 2x2 and lots and any proposal to make wholly operating subsidiary. Lots we are already 99% today. So rest is lying with one shareholders. As you know, we will always wait and we are very friendly investors. So we'll wait for him to say how he wants to take it forward. And if he sells his 1% stake, it will become automatically 100% subsidy. There is no plans right now for making 2x2 wholly operating subsidiary. We are very comfortable working with partners, Tamal, and sometimes it's even better. So therefore, that's how we will look at that. We hope that we know both of them are strategic for us, and we hope soon both of them will contribute to the consolidated profits of MLL in a big way. Okay. Okay. Okay, so that's the other question is another way of asking that question. So I hope I have answered. Okay, what about the preference shares you asked? I think the key thing is that we will consider at an appropriate time what to do. We're not in a position to comment on it at this moment, but as and when we form up our mind on that, we will come back and talk to you to everyone. So that's all I think I have, unless you put on that one question. How are we ready for COVID? That I've already answered both in my speech in the balance chat as well as in the Q&A that I did just now. There is one question that has come from the chat. So if you can just put, couple of questions. So first is Saurav. In light of our asset-light approach, how are our relations with our vendor? It's a very beautiful question, Saurav, because when we are working with partners, they become part of the family. So and then we will have to maintain very important, good relations with them. Not only them, treat them as perfect partners. And that's how we have treated them with, and therefore, good times and bad times, they have stood with us and we have stood with them. Okay, what multiple initiatives that are taken is 95% of trucks we are using were moved into safe and secure location as soon as possible, so that there was no loss to any of the assets. We provided food and safe stay for them during the pandemic. Financial assistance through Hope Initiative. We are still facing driver shortage, so we have kind of did whatever we can to do. Smaller transporters are in more distress, and we're trying to do whatever it can, but the entire ecosystem, including government, needs to come and support this. And I think they are also doing their bit. We have stayed in active communication with them all through engagement with them. And that's what I said. In nutshell, there has been, we have helped them, they've helped us, and we've been in it together. That's how we saw it, and that's what we believe in. Next is from Vinay Bide. How is our business affected by COVID-19 in terms of operations and profit? Is there an improvement in situation, and are peak problems behind? Again, an excellent question, Vinay. I've answered many of the pre-questions in terms of profit. Some that there is better driver availability. If you look at April, there was hardly any business. If you looked at May, it was double of April. If you looked at June, it was April plus May put together plus something more. So things have improved from that perspective. Have we come back to normal? Quite not. So we got some way to go. And in July, again, there were not specific, not nationwide, but specific location by location. Some had more problem than the others. So we have kind of looked at all, we are looking at all this. We cannot say all problems are behind, but we are prepared for many eventualities, and we are prepared with all the right drivers. And as growth returns, we will be very well placed, and we are well placed to take advantage of the growth and advantage of a new or a V-shaped recovery. That's all I have. Thank you very much. Great questions. Great engaging with you. I hope I have answered all the questions satisfactorily. With this, we come to the end of the meeting. The e-voting on the NSDL platform will continue to be open for the next 15 minutes to enable those members who have not casted their vote and would like to cast their vote. I would like to thank the directors. Thank you very much, the management team, company officials, customers, business partners, and government for their continued support extended to the company and the management. I would also like to thank our statutory auditor, secretarial auditor, registrar, and stat transfer agents, NSDL, and e-voting agency. The scrutinizer, the secretarial teams, and I must compliment many of the speakers, thank the secretarial team, and I join them in thanking the secretarial team and all others who have contributed in making this event a great success. Thank you. I deeply thank all the members for participating in the meeting and look forward for your continued interest in the company. I hereby declare the proceedings as closed and concluded on completion of e-voting by members. Thank you and stay safe. Jai Hind. Namaste.